Hey there, my name is Vworp and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. This is actually a bit of a follow-up video. It's not like me to do that. Normally, I just say stuff and I forget it as I'm saying it. A lot of time people in the comments will reference a joke that I say. I kind of forget that. As I say anything, it goes out my head. You know, that's why I say it. I guess that's why I record everything I say as well, to use in evidence against me. Anyway, so this is about the follow-up video that I did earlier in this week when somebody mentioned on Talk Radio that, you know, Doctor Who isn't very good, and, you know, fans of the current era were like, no, it's very good, and everybody loves it. Okay, relax, breathe deeply. If you like this era, good for you. I'm chuffed for you. I really am. I'm not like, why wouldn't I be? I got nothing against you. If you like this era, great. It's not popular. It's not successful. It hasn't done well. People don't like it. That's basically the bottom line. People don't like it. It's great that you like it, right? It's great that you like it, but people don't. Now, what do I mean by people? I don't mean like the tiny clump of people that live on Twitter. Yeah, they love it, right? They freaking, well, I'll say about half of them love it, absolutely love it. But not really, I think, what, 12% of the UK is on Twitter? Yeah, which is a big number. I mean, listen, if I can get 12% clients for anything out the nation, you're doing very well, even though they're not paying for it. Well, I guess you are the product Twitter sells. They sell your data. But yeah, like there's only, but you know, that means 88% of people aren't on there, and I would say the feelings of maybe 6% of the country are really dictating the other 94% of the country, and they're always amazed. They're always shocked and amazed and terrified when they find this out. So anyway, so they have this short article, short piece on Talk Radio. So somebody, Bradley Dare, thank you very much. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning him and thanking him, sent me this clip from the same Talk Radio station. I have no idea who it is. Basically reiterating the same point, but we're going to watch it together because this is the normie view of Doctor Who. The normie, which is the only one that matters. Like, you know, listen, I am very invested in Doctor Who. I'm a massive fan. Really, just look around me. This isn't all pretend. This is my life. Yeah, this is how I live. Okay, I really wish I could go back in time and show my 10-year-old self. Say, hey, you want to see something incredible? Come and see where you're gonna live when you're a grown-up. And I'll show him this. Oh my God, I'll be so impressed with myself. But that's not really surprising because I'm always very impressed with myself. Okay, fine. So before we get into the video, can I ask you guys, can you hit the subscribe button? That'll be fan-dabby-dozy. Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful to everybody and anyone who subscribed. I really am. Yeah, and also, yeah, if you hate me and you subscribe, mwah, I'm really happy. Thank you very much. If you love me and you subscribe, well, that's very nice, but my grandmother's dead. I'm surprised that you'd managed to do that. But yeah, if you vaguely like me and subscribe, thank you very much. I just like everybody subscribe. Thank you very much. I put there's a download for a Sapphire Steel audio that's in the video notes. A couple of people told me it wasn't working, the link wasn't working. If you can't get it to work, please contact me. I will send you the link directly. I think it's working now. I went into like the back end of my of you know, the server I've uploaded to and changed the permissions. It should work. It should work. Download it, enjoy it. Go ahead. You don't even need to subscribe to that. But subscribe anyway. You know, go ahead, subscribe. Download, listen to it, enjoy it. It's made by a company called Big Finish. It's out of license. It's out of print. You cannot get a copy of it now. You know, I'm sure you can get it on eBay probably. But anyway, you can't easily get a copy. Help yourself. Download it. I will say, if they ever get their license back, Big Finish, and they start selling them, buy yourself a digital copy. But they're not going to do that. But I would actually say this though: if you download it and like it, go over to bigfinish.com. There's tons of great stuff. A lot of it under $3. You know, so you know if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead. Also, don't forget, I have a weekly competition that you can enter if you are a subscriber. Subscribing is free, by the way. So the prize this week is one that I particularly like. I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video on it. I think I'll drop it on Saturday when I'm offline. It is the Doctor Who comics bundle. You get a bunch of really great Doctor Who graphic novels. You get Abslom Daakdalek Killer, which is Steve Dillon, Steve Moore, David Lloyd, just at their best. And also then they have another more recent strip more recent, 30 years ago, by Lee Sullivan. Another Doctor Who reprint graphic novel, Polly the Glot, beautiful art by John Ridgway, the introduction of the character Frobisher. Got this one over here, I'll say midway through the Sylvester McCoy run in the comic book. So Mark of Mandrogona, the TV show, had just gone off the air, I think, at the time. Again, great art. There's also got Sarah Jane Smith in this, and John Ridgway, Lee Sullivan. Then there's the 10th Doctor and Martha comic collection. I can't really remember much about this, but I figure it's a spare Doctor Who comic I have, so I'm throwing it in. And finally, the thing I like most is, I think I like Abslom the most, is this thing, Vworp Vworp. It's this incredible magazine, but like I think that probably all about Doctor Who comics. If you like that bundle and you would like to win it, in the comment, subscribe to the channel. That's the important bit. Subscribe, and in the comments, leave the hashtag of Vworp. That's VWORP. That was, of course, the comic book sound effect they use for the TARDIS appearing in Doctor Who magazine. Fine, so let's look at this this voyage into Normie land, which us here in fandom don't often do. I think it's fair to say that anybody who's into this stuff isn't really into like the norminess of the world. So we're going to start listening to this. I'm going to stop it every now and again, so you get my sparkling commentary, because I assume that's why you guys are here. Bit of sparkling rabbinical thought thrown in to see what I could possibly add. So this is Kevin and Ash. Don't know who they are, but I do know they are Monday to Friday, 7 to 10. So let's watch this together.
You're a long-term Doctor Who fan. I know lots of Doctor Who fans.
Okay, let me just say, this guy's not a Doctor Who fan. Yeah, he's a guy who likes watching Doctor Who, right? He's a guy who enjoys Doctor Who, has always liked Doctor Who. Hey, listen, I don't want to say you're not a real fan, but we know fans. I'm a fan. I know fans. Fans more often than not cried when they saw the Timeless Children, and not out of joy. Not out of joy. By the way, when that happened, I was on a live stream with Noel of the TARDIS Zone, and he was very emotional, very upset. And then, this is why Twitter's a terrible place. Stay away from Twitter. Very bad place. People were making fun of him, that he was so upset, and it just struck me. It struck me the one way you could describe the fans of this current era of Doctor Who that I've interacted with is cruel and cowardly. Cruel and cowardly, which is the way Terrence Dicks explained the absolute things the Doctor shouldn't be. So I think that's kind of an indication of the truth of what this Doctor is. I just think she's cruel and cowardly. I think that's why she appeals to cruel and cowardly people. But anyway, this guy likes watching Doctor Who, okay?
Are very disillusioned with what's happened to their favourite programme, that it has become what I would describe.
So, I'll just say very disillusioned with their favourite programme. Yeah, listen, it's... you don't need to be that much of a fan to feel that way. God, wouldn't you love to go into like famous fans' brains, like Russell T Davies or Stephen Moffat, and find out what they really thought? I would love to know. Oh, I would love to. Generally speaking, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in either of those men's brains, but I would love to know.
As a sort of woefully woke nightmare, a politically correct intergalactic mess.
Now, the fans of this era, the fans that do not believe this at all. What do you mean? What do you mean it's politically correct? What do you mean agenda? There's no. That's the only freaking reason they like it. You know how I know it's the only reason they like it? Because there's nothing to like. It's just awful television. That's really the bottom line. It's awful television. And so they just don't believe it's politically. No. Okay. What that means is that it's being made primarily to make people who are on that side of the cultural divide. The side that like hates all the election results in the Western world for the last 4 years. That side, the side that loves Greta Thunberg, and every time I mention it, people are like, "Oh, what are you getting?" I'm not getting on top of Greta. No, I'm not diminishing Greta Thunberg, but the fact of the matter is, she is she's a child with multiple psychological complaints, including selective muteness. I mean, like, look, bless her. I got nothing against her. I just don't think we should tear down all society and reorder it, in whatever way she instructs us to, because, it makes some Guardian readers feel good about themselves. Oh, it's the future. Yeah, now shut up. So yeah, that's what we mean. That's what I mean. If you the button issue today is gender. If you feel that gender, for the majority of human beings, through the entirety of human history, hasn't, their gender or sexuality isn't fluid, isn't that just real? Listen, again, if you're somebody whose gender or sexuality is fluid, God bless. Again, whatever floats your boat, mate. Literally, whatever floats your boat. Okay, but by the way, I'm doing a live stream tonight. I hope you gotta tune in. It's gonna be at 5:00. Assuming that it all comes together. You gotta tune in. Then I'm gonna hopefully tell the story of the time when this guy had to admonish me, and he was doing it badly, but he got off it so much. I'm sure he got an erection. I am sure. So story for another time. But it's worth tuning in. I'm crazy. People are generally crazy. So anyway, yeah. So I totally forgot where it was at. But anyway, Doctor Who, it's a woke nightmare. Yes, we all agree.
Of right-on nonsense. And somewhere down the line, we've lost track of the fact this is supposed to be an adventure series. It's supposed to be fun. It feels to me now like all we're doing is being lectured politically.
Yeah. 100%. So yeah, when did this start? I think it's was the beginning of the inclusivity and diversity mandate agenda, which I honestly think that's when you can really see it season 10, maybe a little bit in season 11, season 9. Listen, I don't think Stephen Moffat was too against it. It was like, yeah, let's have women, say their thing. Let people regenerate into women and say they hate being a man. Whatever. Yeah, that's fine. The difference with Moffat, though, is because he had talent. He had real, genuine talent. And he also had Capaldi. It was like just an incredible performance, which made you kind of want to overlook these like annoying little blips, these annoying little things. But then when Chibnall came in, when Chris Chibnall came in, he is so on board for all the diversity and inclusivity agenda, which is the absolute opposite. It's supposed to be an anti-racist policy. It's the most racist thing that's happened, in my lifetime. It really is. It's more racist. It's more racist than that time when the Labour Party, the major mainstream political party, left-wing political party in England, went 100% anti-Semitic for like 3 years, right? This is more racist, and if they think it's being okay, fine, whatever. People are crazy, but I think that's where it came in. I think Moffat held it at bay for a while, because, again, just on the sheer level of his and Capaldi's talent, which is just so lacking from the current production team, where there is zero talent, going on there, and so all you get is this political pandering, which they love. They love. The BBC are so freaking happy with it. The only thing they don't like about this current Doctor Who is that they're making it for these awful people that populate their country, and they've decided they don't like it. But it doesn't matter because they've already sold it. They already got the check. They sold it to HBO Max. They sold it to China. They got the money's in the bank. They got to make at least another 10 episodes. Probably maybe more. Who knows? If they can make, they will make. And that's really their biggest problem. I say this every freaking video. That is their biggest problem. Making new Doctor Who. It kills them. It's not good for them. Because then people see how freaking awful it is. Fine, let's go back to the Normies.
What's your feeling?
I think it's fair to say, it started with Capaldi, and I've got a couple of examples of this, where during the Capaldi era, there were a couple of things said.
Smart man, that
were a bit dubious.
Peter Capaldi.
And and you got a hint that things were changing and that there was a bit of a political kind of agenda going on.
So this kind of reminds me of a Third Doctor comic strip. I think it was from a Doctor Who magazine special. Must have been a while ago because it was in black and white. Really nice artwork, and it was both the Master. It was the Third Doctor and the Master had roughly the same plan. And the Third Doctor says to the Brigadier, "Aha! Great minds think alike," which is why I think about this gentleman. We're clearly sharing ideas. Great minds think alike. And as he drives off in Bessie, Brigadier goes, "Fools seldom differ." So either way, I'm just reminded of that when I'm agreeing with the stranger so completely, Mikey Smith, whoever he may be.
Six were rearing their ugly head. In what way? What happened?
Well, let me give you an example. So there's an episode, I think it's like towards the end of Capaldi's era, where there's a female Time Lord, and it's originally a man. So he's talking to this bloke in the.
So clearly, okay. I don't want to rank on the dude, but like, if you're a fan, you know, we're talking about, Hellbent. We're talking about season 9, episode 12, whatever the last episode of the season was, and we know it was a Time Lord, an old Time Lord. He gets zapped. He regenerates into the woman from Years and Years. Who's a great actress, but I really like her. And then she has this line that, I can't even remember what it was. Thank God he got rid of all that macho nastiness. There, white male is. Which, again, Normie, this is Normie just go, in Doctor Who fan, we have this tattooed onto our brain, on our memories, right? Normies are like, well, that was a bit crap. So let's hear more he's got to say.
In the Panopticon, which is like where all the Time Lords hang out.
No, the Panopticon, okay, you get points for that.
No. Yeah. And
it's like a club.
Surely it should be a Time Lady.
He dies, and then he regenerates in front of Peter Capaldi,
right?
And then into a woman.
Okay.
And then when she's a woman, she then says, "Oh, I've had an upgrade."
No longer an awful man, now a wonderful woman.
Yeah. And that's tough.
No. That wasn't an upgrade. That was okay, fine. Again, Normies, forgive him. But this is how Normies see it. They just merge it all together. This is why I think, again, the worst thing that can happen for this era of Doctor Who is making and showing Doctor Who. Because then Normies, who aren't paying attention, just go, "Oh, I don't really like this. Let's go and watch anything else at all." They managed to get, I think, 600,000 people to say that. So, Country File was on, came on before Doctor Who. People were wandering around the forest aimlessly, going, "Oh, this is," and hey, that show did pretty well. Then Doctor Who came on, people jumped out of windows. Okay, people were like, run! They were like running away with their hair on fire, like driving out with it. And then when they heard it was safe, it was over. Call the Midwife was back there. Like, okay, let's come on, watch Call the Midwife. That's why I'm convinced by. Convinced in what was it? The Ascension of the Cybermen. That was season 12, episode 9, no penultimate one. It had this weird flashes to this alternate reality thing, Wales. I don't know what the hell it was. With Brendan. I really genuinely think that was Chibnall's idea of saying people might just turn over and they think they're watching Call the Midwife. People might think they're watching Call the Midwife, and we'll just keep going, and we'll get more viewers. Didn't really work. I just want to point out that the only episode since '89 that got worse ratings was the next one. That's how we know it's not popular. The next one got the lowest rating, and as far as I can tell, I'm going on by Wikipedia. Their listing of the audience figures over time. There's only 2 episodes of Doctor Who that got worse ratings. 2 episodes, and both of them were during Battlefield, Sylvester McCoy's final season for opener, which is a time where there's no catch-up. There's no catch-up, even though I think they probably got less than me, even though we're comparing the overnights. There was no catch-up, but the BBC hated Doctor Who at the time. They didn't promote it, and they filmed it. It looks like I don't know. I love I love the McCoy era, but it looks like they filmed it on a phone. It films like an old phone. That not the best care and attention had gone into. The resources had not been really poured into it, and they were really just waiting for it to move on so they can kill it. basically to get rid of John Nathan Turner. Really? I mean, like, geez, that's the guy. Yeah, they had trouble getting on. That's why. And that's essentially why Doctor Who went. I think when did Doctor Who go? Because nobody was around to really care about it. That's the truth.
So one example. There's also another episode I remember where this is it. So Capaldi is like he meets this guy on a planet, and he's surrounded by women. And
okay, no clue what episode. He's meeting Capaldi on a planet surrounded by women. Okay, I'm not. If anybody in the comments can let me know what episode do you think? I have not a clue.
His assistant says something like, "Oh, in the future, is everyone going to be a woman?" And the Doctor says, "We can only hope so." Which of course.
So that didn't. I kind of remember that. I wish I could know when you were talking about. But that again, it's kind of funny. It's kind and this was this wasn't 2020. This must have been 2016, 2017, where it hadn't where media hadn't really just committed suicide and jumped out of a window going, no, an election happened, we don't like that. No, that's so I could forgive all this stuff, but then again, I'm kind of like easygoing. I like Doctor Who. I want to like it, but I didn't really notice it. I just moved on and it was fine. But again, we're talking about massive talents, which is Capaldi and Moffat, compared with micro talents, which is Whittaker and Chibnall. I think micro talent is probably one of the best ways of describing both of them.
Of course, we mean the extinction of all man. Yeah. But at that point, I was thinking, there's something not right here,
that becomes then Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman was the premise of that, all women together.
Well, yeah, but it isn't Wonder Woman.
No,
it's
exactly.
Doctor
We
Who.
don't want.
But Wonder Woman is a good example because everyone sort of cracks on that the fact that the Doctor became a woman was like suddenly it was like the first time that we'd had a strong female character.
Yeah, this is a really good point. Again, this is a normie, somebody not really paying attention. Making the point that he's 100% correct. He is 110% correct. This tiny clump of people. It's always funny. There was who was it? Ben Cook. They have to make a group that they can other. Because again, the fans of this era that I've interacted with are cruel and cowardly. So they have to make a group they can other. So there was this hashtag called Not My Doctor. Seemed kind of incongruous. But somebody on there, but again, listen, for me, hashtags are not something to live and die by. But by people who live on Twitter. Oh yes, they are. Hashtags define reality to those people. So somebody did. Who knows? Somebody said something bad. Who was using that hashtag. And so anybody who didn't like this era of Doctor Who was then othered, but then made, look, they call them the NMDs, not my, okay, honestly, when you're making names for groups of people so you can be disparaging to them, you're probably a villain. The reason that the fans of this era are called J-bots or Jodie bots is because they seem to have pre-programmed responses. You go, I think the writing of that was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And after 2 or 3 minutes debate because they cannot abide your opinion. They can't abide your opinion to exist. After 2 or 3 minutes of debate, they go, you just hate women. Wow, sexist. And it happens like clockwork. Fine. And that, if you're a fan of this era and you're not like that, get in contact because I'd love to have you on. I want to say I'll have anybody on to talk about this. It's just truly fascinating. Yeah, let's carry on.
Which of course is absolute nonsense because you've got Wonder Woman, you've got Dorothy in Wizard of Oz, you've got Ziggy.
We've had a plethora of strong female characters throughout the decades of TV and cinema. In fact, I would say, and it really is my firm opinion, that the last 2 seasons of Doctor Who are the only ones that I can really remember. I'm talking about classic Doctor Who as well. Are the ones I can really remember that didn't have like strong female characters. It was crazy. They did. Well, you had the Yaz. You know, that's not a strong character. You had the Doctor, very weak character. It was the only time they had like two-dimensional. I mean, honestly, I would say Melanie Bush, who you know, not one of the best conceived companions. I was going to say program going from my head. Yeah, not one of the best conceived characters in the world. She had much more life. Like, you know, if I see a Doctor and Mel audio coming out from Big Finish, I'm like, oh, by the way, great one to recommend, Fathers of Vulcan. It's a really early one. Love that. Love that story. I think it's like $2-3. Get £2-3, depends where we are. That's a really great one. But again, she's a person, she's a character. I don't think any of these people are characters. I think they are identities. I think that's all they are. Like that weird bit where Graham like goes off on how wonderful Yaz is. Why? Like, why is she so impressive? She's done absolutely nothing, and everybody around her who goes anywhere near her goes, "Oh yes, you're the best police officer ever." Like what again? I just think it belies an incredible lack of confidence that you got to portray whoever as being the greatest ever. The greatest ever. You can be a good person without being the greatest ever. But again, racists, who I think the people are, who like these things, racists universally are baby brain morons. So they can only look at things in a very simplistic way. So they can only go, oh, women are good. We can't have women be bad. So women are the best ever. God, shut up.
Catwoman. She was a cat and a woman.
A cat and woman. Which
okay. Any more evidence we're talking about a normie here? Yeah, he just described Catwoman. She was a cat and a woman. No, she wasn't a freaking cat. She wore a cat suit. Okay, she wore a cat. She wasn't a kitty cat. Okay, she was kind of a sexy woman wearing a cat suit because cat suits are kind of sexy. Anyway, but she's a cat and she's a woman. Fine, whatever. There's also Ripley. There's, oh my God, so many. I mean, I'm not going to start listing great female characters because it's too stupid. It's too stupid to do.
I mean, you can't brilliant.
Get better than that.
Yeah, you can't.
So I don't know whether. Oh. So in answer to your question, Kevin, I don't know whether it's gone woke or whether it's worse than that. It's just a bit signalling.
Dr.
It's
Woke.
not genuinely.
Yeah, it's become.
Both. It's, again, Normie. He doesn't know if it's gone woke. Yes, it's gone woke. And yes, it is worse than that. And yes, it's very signaling. Yeah, again, the Tolson Cole was hired for a skin color. Joe Martin was hired for a gender and a skin color. It's what an insult. What an insult to talent. And I was like, look, Tolson Cole, I'm really intrigued to see this show he's going to be on HBO. Because, I haven't seen any acting from him yet, but look, he's a good-looking lad. I would like to see him be successful. I'd like to see them all be successful. Honestly, I'd like to see them be successful in Doctor Who. I'd like to see them make good Doctor Who.
It's become a massive kind of signalling virtuous politics now. And so there's moving to a female Doctor, Jodie Whittaker and all that.
But moving to a female Doctor would have been freaking fine, wouldn't it? Would have been absolutely A-okay. I don't think anybody would have really minded that at all. Well, I think some. But, had they just made it good freaking Doctor Who, nobody would have minded. But no, they cast Jodie Whittaker, who was completely incorrect for the role. I mean, really, look, she can play mothers. She can play stuff in a relative range. She just doesn't have the acting chops, which is so clear from her 2-season Doctor. I think more so from season 12 than season 11. Again, look, I often get people in comments say, look, Jodie's fine, it's the writing, etc. These are all opinion statements. I'm not going to disagree with your opinion. To me, she's just awful. She's just awful and horribly miscast.
I mean, I don't have strong feelings about it, but I think it upset a lot of Doctor Who fans. It didn't seem right. And I thought, actually, in the end, the problem with Jodie Whittaker playing the part was not that the Doctor was suddenly a woman, had changed sex. It was that she actually played the Doctor in the way that everyone else does, in a sort of eccentrically dressed eccentric.
No, she didn't. She didn't play like how everybody else did. She played it kind of as a pastiche. She played it like, Star Trek Picard was on 6 months ago, and it was all about this incredible friendship that Picard has had with Data, which never happened. Picard and Data were such great, incredible friends. Data and Geordi were, but like it's because. It's people who don't really know about Doctor Who going, not knowing about Star Trek going, they had Picard in it and Data, let's do that, and there's starships, and it's basically, it's people who don't know much about Doctor Who. Going, this is kind of what Doctor Who, and it's so clear now when you go back and watch her early interviews. You say, well, there's no real way of doing it. You just go, that's exactly what she said. No, there is a way of making it real. So she knows Doctor Who from like David Tennant. She knows David Tennant was popular. She figured, just do something like that, and he does a few jokey bits. I'll do that too. And it's just again. So I don't think she's like other Doctors. I think she's like a pastiche of other Doctors. But then again, I'm a bonkers Doctor Who fan. These are normies, right? This is what the normie mind thinks.
So she was doing a bit of a Tennant impression, to begin with,
right.
and the sort of problem with this is that they made this bold move. Well, we're supposed to think it's a bold move, but it's not really. I mean, there's been like female Time Lords in. I sound like a right geek now, and I am. There's been.
No, you don't, mate. This ain't the female Time. No, love you, mwah. Love you to bits. You don't sound that much of a geek.
Female Time Lords in Doctor Who.
That's what you're here for, mate.
Thank you. There's been female Time Lords in Doctor Who since like the early 70s. It's not a new thing.
Yeah.
But the problem.
Good question. When was the first female Time Lord? I guess Romana? Was anybody before Romana? Was it Deadly Assassin we have any girls? Was a bit of a sausage fest, wasn't Deadly Assassin and Three Doctors? Certainly not in War Games. You didn't see anybody. But listen, someone's going to just say, "What are you talking about? In scene 37 of War Games, everything like the gun." Yeah, no, I don't know. I guess Romana would be the first Time Lady, right? And she grew up from being a time tot.
The problem is that she came in. She was doing a slight bit of a Tennant impression.
Yeah.
Plus, she was going for this, and I think this is mostly in the writing, and that's Chris Chibnall's fault. She was going for this sort of slightly awkward mid-2000s American rom-com thing.
Yeah.
I disagree with them there. I just think they were going for something with very little thought whatsoever. This is. It was just like, you kind of like Goofy in real life. Why not do that, right? I don't think they put that much thought in it. But again, this is what normies are thinking.
And that has resulted in her being a little bit unlikable. Can I give you an example of
a little bit like she's totally unlikable. But yeah, he wants to give an example, and I want to let him.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
So there's a scene, Bradley Walsh is in it.
Yes, I do.
You're from The Chase.
Yeah.
So he's in it. And there's a scene in the TARDIS where Bradley Walsh is telling her that...
he's going to talk about the worst scene in Doctor Who ever.
He's really pleased that his cancer didn't come back. And it's the first time you hear about this, that...
No. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm too much of a fan of wanky, up my own arse. But no. It was an episode when they dealt with their most terrifying inner fears, and he survived cancer, and he was worried that cancer was going to come back. Okay, now carry on.
His character had cancer, so it's potentially, quite a loaded moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she goes,
It was incredibly. It wasn't potentially. It was a loaded moment. It was a moment that the Doctor should have been able to shine, and a good writer, or even a mediocre writer, could have put the right words in Jodie Whittaker's mouth. As an aside, wouldn't you love to see Jodie Whittaker try and get her lips around like some real good writing? Like, I would love to see her do the Genesis of the Dalek speech with Tom Baker. Have I the right? Like, I would love that. I would love that. I would love to see her do Matt Smith's Stonehenge speech. I just think she's awful. I really think so. And I think a lot of the times, like real weakness hides behind gender. It really does. I mean, if you can find it, it's absolutely fascinating. They took from the 2016 presidential campaign the debates, right? And they had a man read Clinton's lines and a woman read Trump's lines, right? And it just, listen, this is not part of global broadcast. It just exposed the strength of one candidate and the weakness of the other. But it's absolutely fascinating. If you can find it, I really recommend it. It really is. It'll blow you away.
Oh, sorry. Ooh, can't talk about that. I'm a bit socially awkward. We'll talk about this later.
Oh God, yeah. So he went to Graham. Graham, told Graham that Graham said, "I'm worried my cat's going to come out. Is there anything you can do to inspire me?" And he, I would have something to say, but I'm a bit socially awkward, so I'm just gonna go. Like, what the hell was going through the minds of the entire production team when they went, yeah, that line's gonna work. We like that. Yeah, let's do that. Like, what the hell? Really? How did a whole room of highly paid professionals not work out? That sucked.
And that sort of
odd.
It's really odd, and it really annoyed a lot of it really annoyed a lot of YouTubers.
Yes, it did. Thank you very much for the content.
Because it's such a cliche that sort of rom-com awkward woman in her 30s that even the IT crowd were satirizing that. Yeah. You know, if you ever seen the dinner party in the IT crowd where they satirize that sort of awkward rom-com, and that's not right for 2018.
But they never bother with that in the original Doctor Who. They never bother with political things in it at all. They should.
Yeah, mate. Again, these are the Normies. Yeah, they did, but they did it well. Happiness Patrol. The Peladon stories, very, very political, and they were great freaking stories. You know why? Because entertaining people was the core, not educating people, not educating, not influencing people. Influencing people is the core right now, not entertaining.
Just stay away from all that.
Yeah, Mikey, why has the BBC allowed this harmless, very popular, venerable programme to become a massive, great vehicle for right-on politics?
Pretty simple answer to that. Because it's called social engineering. Social engineering. They figure Doctor Who is popular, right? So if we put our messaging of what we think is right and wrong within Doctor Who, because it's popular, people are going to hear it, and they're going to receive it passively, but they're not going to, and it's going to sink in subconsciously, and it's going to change their attitudes, and so they'll go from like hating women and black people to loving them and seeing them as being stunning and brave. That's why, and it's like, when you say it out, you go, man, that's a really stupid plan. That is a really incredibly stupid plan. That's, by the way, why they don't make anything new. You know, that's why they look. People keep talking about a woman James Bond, a black James Bond. For me, I'm fine with gender and race swapping any character if it doesn't go against the core of the character. Now, for me, James Bond is intrinsically male because he's like sleeping with lots of women. But no, I think his masculinity is like the core of the character. Also, his damaged ancient English aristocracy, which I think means your skin color's got to be white. If you're an ancient English family, you probably have white skin color. What they should do, and I think would be freaking awesome, okay, would be absolutely awesome. Firstly, finish with Daniel Craig. I don't know why they made another Daniel Craig James Bond movie. With a bit of an aside there, but yeah, my vote for James Bond. Tom Hiddleston, love that actor, and he'll bring a totally different quality to Bond. But yeah, have a movie where he has James Bond has two chums. He bring in like a woman agent, getting Gal Gadot as like a super ass-kicking great woman agent, and Idris Elba, right, as like another spy, okay, and they work together, they form a team, and then you spin them off, right? You do a Gal Gadot movie, a Guy Got Spy movie. I would love to see that. And you do and you make them their own things. And I think that casting with good writing would really make that successful. And then you can bring them together again for other James Bond movies. But they're not interested in creating anything new because they don't have the talent to do anything that will bring people in. That's why these are like cuckoos, they come, they infest other things, they infest comic books, they infest YA novels, they infest Doctor Who, they infest Star Trek, they infest everything, and they insert their worldview into it, which is objectionable, which nobody wants. There's a reason. They try and do this stealthy social engineering because everything they want to do is utterly hated by the public. as we see, when there's ever any objective metric, an election, viewing figures, when there's objective metrics, people are not into this whatsoever. So that might be the answer to your question.
That it's just full of intergalactic lesbians and everyone's gay and
No, that's Big Finish. Big Finish are addicted to ass kicking, super tough trans women, trans bi women from a glorious future where everybody's trans and bi. Big Finish are so super into that right now. So yeah. Yeah, and Big Finish are the friendly face of Doctor Who right now. Let us be clear.
Disabled.
Well, I haven't seen any of them yet.
Vegan Daleks.
No, there's that one with the scales on, isn't there? The
Yeah,
lizard
of course.
one.
Yeah, there is. It's called a Solarian.
Oh, okay. They're talking about the Paternoster gang. Madam Ambassador. So there we go. Listen, that was just a quick voyage into the mind of Normies. Normies hate this Doctor Who. Let's be clear. Normies hate this Doctor. Not quite as much as I hate it. Not as much as I absolutely despise it, because I'm really watching. They're not really watching. Why? Because they're Normies. They don't really care to the level that people like crazy people like me care. Probably crazy people like you care. But they are the only vote that matters right now. And their vote doesn't even matter. The BBC are like, I don't care. I got the money from HBO. I got the money from China. I do not care. We're going to keep... I don't care that you awful people don't like this. We're going to keep making it until you like it. That's essentially what the BBC's current editorial policy is doing, which is why they say that Doctor Who is editorially very strong. So there you go. A little voyage into the minds of Normies as regards to Doctor Who. My name is Sheila Beckett, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.